going crazy. Now listen, let's not let him run off today. Y'all got to keep tabs on him, okay? Remember last time he ran off? We don't need that happen during these times.
Diesel, come. Come.
Well, everybody, welcome to Camp Kid. This is a little spot on our farm that is really special and we come to frequently to hang out and just chill. Yep, the girls are excited about being on YouTube. It's really all they care about. Let's get on YouTube. But anyway, a couple of years ago we found this spot and started coming back here to shoot guns and stuff, and then we set up a fire pit. Oh, the dog's there. We gotta go find the dog
again.
So here's the culprit of running off. He ran off about 2 hours ago, so we had to go find him, and in the process went home and offloaded my wife's truck of groceries, and I left the GoPro in my wife's truck, and now we're shooting on my phone. So he's a bad boy, but we love him. His name is Diesel. This is our fire ring, and that little plastic shed I put there a couple of years ago to keep the firewood and the sticks dry, so when we come out here we got dry wood and store our chairs in, keep them out of the weather. What my plans are is to take that shed apart and get it out of here and put a permanent cabin there, and we're going to start on that this week. This is our coronavirus lockdown project. My daughter Ava. Say hi, Ava. So let me show you over here. This whole big hill over here, you see how it goes up, is man-made. That used to be a railroad track, and they leveled the land coming, down the railroad track, and this spot in the woods here is low, so they had to bring in all this material in the early 1900s and fill in this whole area. And it runs through my property, and back here on this stream, my daughter Grace. Say hi, Grace.
Hello, I found slime.
Slime? Real slime? That might be frog eggs. I think it's frog eggs. So over here, got this really cool stream. It goes up under, runs under the old railroad track. See if I can get down here without busting my you-know-what. And then that tunnel runs probably 75 yards to the other side. And it's actually my property line, so halfway through that tunnel is my property line, or the center of the tracks up there. And this poplar falling across here makes a nice bridge. Although it's starting to grow some moss on it, it's going to rot soon and break. It's a great place for the kids to play. We've been playing down here for years. Yeah, that slimy stuff, Grace, is frog eggs. Huh? You found a frog? There he goes. Catch him. You get it? Oh, it's a little young bullfrog. Get him? Bring him here. Put him on the camera. Oh, that's a nice looking frog. Look at the colors.
Oh.
Yep, he got it wet. Look at him swim.
Frog, you're on YouTube now. die.
He's fine. He's being still. He thinks he's tangled up in the gunk.
Okay.
Anyway, cool frogs and fish. So anyway, let me go over here and help my wife get set up over at the camp. All right, what I decided to do instead of dismantle the shed, of course, you know, it's just kind of laziness, but we're going to drag it with the Rhino. I got the winch on the Rhino set up, running along here, and then I wrapped a rope around the base of this thing, like this, and I'm going to pull it that way over to that flat spot. What probably will happen is the shed will fold up like a cheap lawn chair. What I hope will happen is it actually will stand and stay assembled, and we'll place it right here. So let's see what happens. Stand by.
She's waiting for love to be realized. I'll send her my heart covered as a gift, and hope that you'll take it into her side.
All right, here it is a couple hours later. We moved the shed and cleaned up around here. Say hi, Carolyn. my #1 helper. Actually, I'm her #1 helper. She's the boss. We laid out the perimeter for the cabin. It's 10 feet this way by 16 feet that way. Just quick and easy layout. Good way to do it is just clear an area, pick your corner, like we picked a corner here, and set a stake kind of outside of where that corner is going to be, tie a line to it, have somebody go down there and pull the line and establish, you know, at what angle you want the front of the building to be, or side, whatever you're pulling, and then pull the line and go, you know, for example, this is 10 feet, so go 12, go past your mark. We're going a foot past it in each case, and take it to a stake. And then after that, get a framing square. And yeah, I know there's more accurate ways to do. I got a laser at home that would make this thing perfect, but I don't feel like hauling it out here. And this is just a cabin. So basically, get a framing square. After you establish that, put that thing square to that line. Just like that. I mean, it's a little off here. And then eyeball down that thing and get somebody down there. And you can see it's off a little bit. That's how actually precise this is. And establish your corner. Get somebody down there. Tell them to go left or right to get this square. Once it's square, go down there and drive that stake. Okay? Now, once you've established this corner, have somebody hold a tape measure at this intersection. Pull your 16 feet. Actually go like 17, 18, go past it. And drive, you know, where they had this holding this square. Go ahead and drive it and establish it. Set this stake. Double check it down there with the square. Make sure it's still square and it held you driving the stake in. Once you know that's square, pull the tape measure from that intersection, your dimension back, and take an ink pen or a Sharpie or something and make a little line on your line, so you know where to establish your corner. And then do the same thing here. Lay your square and run it out. Okay. And make sure when somebody's pulling that line down there that your little pencil mark, let me get this to zoom in. Your ink pen mark, mine's a little about 1/4 inch off. That's fine, I can just lean this over to get it, but we'll talk about those marks moving later. But have them pull that line down there and do the same thing. Have them go left or right, and then you hold this kind of left or right over that mark. And once you get it square and you're over this mark here, drive this stake, okay? And then do the same thing. Run that stake, you know, well beyond your mark. Go, you know, 11, 12 feet down there at a square angle and set this stake. Now you have this intersection mark. So you get somebody to hold the tape measure right over that intersection. For our example here, we're going 10 feet. Okay, right here. And then right here you see our ink mark is right under the string, ink pen mark. Where is it? Here we go. Right there, there's the ink pen mark. And then basically do the same thing here. Make your ink pen mark, heading that way. Square it up, and then on the last side, you're gonna make we have an ink pen mark right here for 10 feet. And then I went down there and did 10 feet from that intersection over to here, okay? And then basically at that point you just line those 2 marks up. Okay, so you had a square sitting there and you had a square sitting there. You can double check your squares in this corner and that corner, but it's quick and easy. And then the reason you bring your stakes outside of the actual mark and not put a stake there at the corner is because that's where you're going to be digging a hole, so you don't want that in the way. And so when it comes time to dig the hole, you can just take your leg and move these strings out of the way and dig your hole. In my case, I have an auger on the Bobcat. I'll have somebody just move the strings. I don't like really unwinding them and doing all that because they're kind of their height on the pole. If the post has any kind of angle to it, it messes with it. So I kind of just leave them there. But you can push them out of the way, dig your hole, let the strings back over the hole, move the dirt out of the way if it's mounded up, interfering with the strings, and then you can use these strings to set your poles right to these strings. And in this case, we're going to set 6x6s in each corner, and then what do we have, 16 here. So I'll set one in the middle, I'll set one dead in the middle of the structure. So, and we're spanning 10, I'll probably put, so I'll have 3, 6, 9 posts. And then I'll some beams and joists and fill it up for our deck. I probably won't even use concrete down here. Back in the day, they didn't use concrete all the time on posts. I've built decks before. If you get down to the clay and just set that 6x6 on the clay base, it's not going anywhere. So I'll get the auger down here and drag the 6x6s down here and drill those next and get those set in. And then basically just going to build a deck and then stud walls up from there. And we'll figure out what to do as far as the sides later. I have a mill, so board siding would probably make sense. Poplar boards, board and batten, something like that. So anywho, signing out from Camp Kidd.